I have to say, it felt really good to not make a video for 2 days in a row. I forgot what it felt like to not have to see my own face or hear my own voice for an entire couple of days. It was wonderful. The downside is now I feel kind of out of practice already. This is an appointment I've made with myself to review and reflect. I came up with the idea of keeping a little change log the same way you would for a software project. Last week when I did this for the first time, I used the words like, I need to fix this about myself, or that I'm describing myself like I'm broken, like there's a bug that I need to fix in my own brain. And thanks, Adam, for pointing that out to me, because it is so easy to talk about things like that in a negative sense. So you inspired me to make a new rule for myself. There's a joke in software development where if something is broken and you ask them to fix it, they say, oh, that's not a bug, it's a feature. Like, yeah, we meant to do that. If I extend that metaphor of, software dev for kind of behavioral therapy, that's a really good definition of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is the ability to say about yourself, your own perceived flaws, that's not a bug, it's a feature. It's just who I am. From now on, I will not use language like broken or bugs or needing to be fixed. I will only describe this self-improvement project with words like observing, experimenting, improving, accepting. I'm fine just the way I am right now. I'm good. If I don't change a thing about myself, that is okay. It's almost impossible to actually believe that. I struggle with things, plenty of things, but it doesn't mean it's a bug. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It is a feature of being human, which I am. It just comes with a package. Yeah, okay, so second topic, anxiety. So I'm tracking my anxiety level on a scale of 1 to 5 because I realized I was trying to assess whether my anxiety has gotten any better or worse, or what the fluctuations even look like. My anxiety's been pretty low this past week, which is great. Actually, this is kind of an important little milestone for me that I've noticed. October 1st, November 1st, December 1st, I had either a panic attack or a lot of anxiety. And that's no surprise because of this the daily video project thing I did. Every month I renewed my commitment to the project and I started something new that would get me out of my comfort zone. And so it makes sense that I'd be really nervous on the first day of the month when it's the first day of a big scary new project. But January 1st, I felt pretty great. Whether it means anything or not, it just felt really good to finally start a new month and start the whole new year, start 2016, not feeling anxious. Let's talk about sleep. So I started the year pulling an all-nighter accidentally. In these last 11 days, I have been going to bed at very odd hours. Oh, and exercise. I've been really good about that. That also really seems to help with anxiety. So notable events. Well, there was the interview with Sarah Moore Shields. That was great. And then the last day of my 100 days of video blogs. That same day, I gave a talk at a local high school for an after-school program for girls interested in computer science. That was terrifying for me, but it was really fun. And issue number 3, this whole adult separation anxiety thing that I've talked about a bit before. And so I'm going to try to not say that I'm broken in any way, but my goal is to improve on my general sense of emotional resilience and general sense of independence. It really started when my mom got sick. I got into the habit of spending the entirety of every weekend at my family's house or with my family because my dad would help me split the driving to go visit my mom at the hospital, 2 or 3 hour drive away from us. And they couldn't transfer her to Los Angeles until pretty soon before she passed away. So most of the months that she was sick, every weekend was a short road trip to visit her and then come back home, and it was exhausting. And so my dad, the best dad in the world, drove out there with me every single time. Anyway, so I think that's when I got into the habit of just getting used to spending 2 or 3 nights there every single weekend. I would much prefer if I visited my family, only because there's something we're going to do together, only because we enjoy spending time together, not because it's just some habit that I feel compelled to do, or out of wanting to escape from my own life somehow. Like I had mentioned, that this weird feeling that I get sometimes that I want to just run away. And physically moving to a different location really does seem to help relieve that feeling. Maybe that feeling is responsible for many of my visits to my family's house, and I don't want that to be the reason. It's just, there are better reasons. I had a couple ideas to make this better, and I talked about it with my dad, for us to make specific plans the reason that I'm going to visit, and then we have something to do together, a bit of a schedule, and for me to make plans for something else to do the next day that requires me to return back to my apartment in my neighborhood. So the plan was to play chess with my dad and cook a paella with my dad and stepmom for dinner. The process of making it was really fun. We all had a glass of wine in the kitchen while we were cooking and just talking. I did stick to my plan, and I left the next morning right after breakfast because I had stuff to do. Finally, a success in that department, and I did feel a bit anxious when it was time to leave, but I got over it very quickly because as soon as I got back home, I was extremely busy. All in all, actually no, you know what, forget it. I was tempted to judge if this is a good week, a bad week. I'm not gonna do that. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. I have some data, some numbers, and once I have more and a little more hindsight, then I'll be able to draw more conclusions. But right now, I'm just here and thankful and trying to just be in the present and not worry too much about the future or the past.